Hello there YouTube, bit of a different video today. I thought I'd show you off this portable gramophone from about 1928. It's a RESONA portable gramophone, quite an unusual one because it's all just wood really, whereas most of them had like a covering, like a leather or something on them. Anyway, I thought I'd just give you a bit of a look at it because I've never seen one quite like this before. I paid £20 for it. I've just finished varnishing and putting a new handle on the front. We just have a quick look round it, shall we? So here we are with the RESONA portable gramophone. A very interesting and unusual looking machine. Never quite seen one like this before. I'm just going to go over its features that it's got that makes it quite unusual. We've got this like really bizarre looking plunger here, which covers this bowl where the used needles go. It really is over the top to stop the needles coming out. So the idea is you play with the needle, pop it in that little bowl afterwards, and then this thing just seals it up so the needles don't fall out when you're carrying it from someone's house to another house to have a jamming session or something. Up here we have a holder for needles, just pretty self-explanatory. I'll work that one out. What I haven't really worked out is this corner thing up here, which seems to clip round. I don't quite know why. It seems to line up with the speed adjustment here. Doesn't really do anything from what I can see. Perhaps someone might be able to tell me, I'm not too sure. Here is where the handle sits when it's in storage. The handle just goes in there like that. And then the tone arm just literally just sits in there like that, and the whole thing just folds away, really. Just not very spectacular, but that's it. The locks are a little bit hard to use, but they're not too bad. I've used kept the original locks. The only thing I've added was a replica leather handle, which isn't original, but it does the job. I haven't got the keys. The springs in the locks don't work very well, but for something from 1928, I've not done too bad really. It's better than just abandoning it and not using it. The horn is here, literally just comes out. Got a nice aluminium cover on top, which is unusual. I changed the felt on the turntable mat. I haven't done as good job as what other people have. It is very tricky to get the felt between the gap there. I found it quite challenging. Probably not the original felt, but that's all I could find. We have the speed adjuster here. Slow, 80 and fast. I have lubricated the motor. I haven't re-greased the springs or anything. I haven't got the grease yet for that. I've changed most of the screws just to make it look a bit more in keeping. I've also put a new gasket in the sound box there. Yeah, I know I haven't done a very good job, but at least I'm being honest about it. I could do with a decent gasket. It's all I could find really, considering the original one that was in there just rotted away really, which is again not surprising for something that's from 1928. It's nearly 100 years old. We have the turntable brake at the back here. Again, pretty self-explanatory really. A rather nice badge there, British made of course. I've put some new bolts in that, new bolts in the tone arm. Cleaned up the outside of the woodwork and gave it a nice coat of varnish. Could probably do with another layer. I've scratched it there already, but what is quite interesting is the detail that they've gone to. They've actually put a little turntable, like a needle stop there, so that when you rest it between plays, it doesn't blunt the needle. Look, it's just a little bit of rubber. Well, it was felt, or I think it could have been asbestos beforehand, but I've changed it to a bit of heavy-duty rubber, so it should last quite a long time. Cast iron turntable, of course. All British quality. You know, it's built like a tank. It's probably going to last another 100 odd years. Could probably do with re-greasing the spring. As I say, I'll probably put a new spring in. I think it's a Garrard number 11, I think, motor in there. I have got the original tag somewhere that fell out when I cleaned it, which I haven't unfortunately put back, but you just have to take my word on that. But yeah, I mean, it's cleaned up really well. I mean, if I had the technology to show a picture of what it looked like before, I'll see if I can put one in the thumbnail of what it looked like before. Not an in-depth restoration, just a bit of a clean up and a tidy up, really. So what I'm going to do now is play a record. Hello there, back again. I'm going to test the old machine now. I've got a appropriate record. I'll just remove the old cranking handle. I believe I have wound it up, so it should be okay. I'll just check. Yep, we should be all right. I've put a new needle in. I'm not going to play anything too loud because it's getting a bit late now. Today, it's a rather special record. Guaranteed to get thousands and thousands of hits, I should think. A Zonophone record, serial number 1361, Bits for Wigan by George Formby. This is George Formby Senior, his father. All good sons take after their fathers, I guess, but let's have a listen. I think we might have to give it a bit of a wind up, I think. God, this is getting worse.
Thank you.
There we go, we'll give it a wind. Poor old thing.
I nearly had an accident. I barely got the spike. I tried to help a lady who had fallen off her bike. She said, "You are no gentleman."
So it's not perfect. I am well aware that I could do with a new spring, I would think, at this point. But until finances come available, I will get one.
If I were Liza that gets me, I should have caught it then. Should have. Mine called Murphy got a job the other day. The lay of the foundation stone, and very strange to say, the chain it broke, the stone it fell, and Murphy, where was he? I know where he's gone. He's gone to learn music now. He'll be there by now. Well, if he's not there, he'll be firing up somewhere else.
Unbelievable how quick it can zoom in, isn't
I'd
it?
jump a man one day. He barely got the He took me in his aeroplane. I was a silly chump.
So it seems to be fine now. It's only at the start of some records that it does that.
I wouldn't have cared, only I'd got such a long way to jump. It was a dirty trick. In fact, it was an unclean movement. A nice Salvation lassie once was looking rather glum. He was preaching in the streets and said, "I'll save you if you'll come." She said, "I'm going to glory," but she fell inside the drum. Poor lass. I felt sorry for her. And she was only 11 pence halfpenny short of a shilling. A pity, isn't it? A stranger, he came up to me, I never met before. "I'll cut your head off with this knife," he raised about and swore. I said, "Well, if you do, I'll never speak to you no more." I'm glad I got away from him. He twisted himself into our shape. Talk about a contortionist. Why, he could put his own head in his own mouth. I masked a lady for one night, she looked so mild and meek. Her husband, he dashed in the house, I thought he looked a freak. But when he looked at me, to tell the truth, I couldn't speak. I think I'll go home now and have my supper.
Yeah, so obviously we have got some problems here which have only really sort of appeared in the last few plays, really, which tells me that the spring is due for replacement, I would think. So it played fine on the first couple. The guy at the boot sale put a record on and said it's fine, and obviously I thought, well, that grease is going to be rock solid in there. I know it is. They all like it. So in fact, it's a bloody horrible job to change the grease on them. You know, it takes a lot of that degreasing stuff to get 90-year-old grease to get out. You know, I'll just stop it for a minute. So yeah, the really old grease sticks like anything, as anyone would know. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on this. I know it's not perfect. Still got a long way to go to get it as good as I want it, really. So realistically, the key points for this is get that grease changed in that spring. I think the governor might be out a bit again. It's just down to old age, really. I mean, if you're 90 years old, you're not going to be perfect, are you? So it's just how it is, really. So yeah, grease in the springs. A new spring. I think it's a number 11 motor, I think. I'll just see if I can find the card for it. No, I ain't got a blooming clue where I put that. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, this might interest a lot of you if you're still watching and you haven't buggered off. Oh, it's a number 12. It looked like it said it. I'm sure it said it was a number 11 underneath, but this was in the box as well. So tested to play one average long 12-inch record. Well, it can't even manage a 10-inch record, so I would guess that it's not test and passed anymore. And if I need to communicate, I have to respect the motor kindly and return this label. So yeah, I don't think they'll get back to me if I did that. So yeah, a few little jobs to do. I mean, cosmetically doesn't look too bad, but as I say, I'm not looking forward to the greasing of the motor. I have done a few gramophone springs before, and I think when I did one before, the force that came out, I wish I had my goggles on. It bloody near took my eye out. As sharp as anything. It literally went about 6 foot across the room. The pressure that was in there, even when it was unwound. I mean, you have to be so careful taking old springs out. You'd be surprised how much springiness there is to them. But the good thing is, when you get a new spring, they're all sort of tied up, as in like they've got a bit of copper wire around them. So you just sort of gently ease them in. You clean the barrel, the spring barrel out first. Obviously, deep clean that. And you fill it with some appropriate grease. A lot of some gramophone motors, like HMV ones, they use like a graphite grease, and that stuff's really awful to clean. It really is. It doesn't come off with degreaser. It takes a hell of a lot. You know, it takes like a lot of meths or something. Or I think I'd use some. Sorry, a bit tired. I'd use some very strong thinners to get that grease out, and even then it didn't quite all come out. I almost had to use a little bit of wet and dry on the spring and the spring barrel to get it out. So I'm hoping it hasn't got that inside the spring barrel, and you know, hopefully it's just got some normal grease in there or something. But yeah, I say new spring, you'll notice a hell of a difference. You should better play two records easy, I would think. Yeah, so I have done springs before. No, so I'm not looking forward to it. I've been trying to put it off, you know, hoping it would be all right, but obviously it's not all right, and this is definitely a candidate for that kind of a job. So I just want to thank you all for watching, and see you in the next one. Thank you.